Hi guys, for those of you that's been following me for a long time, I told you I had a big secret, but I can't talk about it, and I'm going to talk about it now because I'm not crying. And not crying for me because there's a little piece that cries for me, but more crying for the boys and what has been done to them. So yes, I've lost over $130,000. How much, you ask? Of child support. I was only supposed to get paid $345 a month for one of my children. I was paid for a couple of months and that was about it. I am a really good mother to him. You know, no mothers are perfect, but I raised 3 boys all by myself with only getting child support for one. As you know, if you've been following me, my ex-husband did pass away with a pretty large estate, probably about $800,000. All the boys and I wanted was his land. It's not expensive land. It's in Casa Grande. Casa Grande's a piece of shit. It's just totally dirt out there. But we wanted the land and we wanted to just split it 3 ways. It's not really worth a lot. You know, it'd be like $200,000, you know, so I would never get paid my money. But I wanted me and the boys to have a chance to start over. I wanted to get a little cozy cabin that wasn't filled with mold, even though one of my sons is calling me right now. Even though, you know, plans have changed. Let's just put it that way. I shouldn't be talking about the boys, but I'm absolutely going to talk about the boys. The reason why they lost, because it was them, they are his sons, his heirs, is because their family, since their Nana passed away, went to pure shit. Tata pretty much destroyed everything. He got with another girl right away, moved her into the house that they had, you know, built together and everything, destroyed everything. And my ex-husband made it perfectly clear that when he passes away, he wants the house and he wants her out. Well, the boys didn't want the house. All we wanted was the land. He built on the land. Everything that's on it is his. His son took care of him out there when he was, you know, dying, starting in 2020. Their excuse was, oh, they didn't know that he was dying. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth, you guys. Starting at March 1st, I started sending him videos on YouTube, and they're unlisted, so he could only get the videos. And things I would do is when he was bedridden, I would show him the sunset. So I go outside and say, here's the sunset. Sometimes I'd walk before all of the surgery. I used to walk a little bit. My son's texting me all this stuff about the Mexican border, and then he says I mean the Mexican border. Something's going on there. So I guess I will check when I'm done. But these people came up there and they said, Jesse knew all the properties were the families. Nana knew all the properties were his families. So even, just so you guys know, even if something is 100% in your name, if that person that bought the property from you writes any type of holographic will, it's called, your property means nothing. So they're saying that it was held in trust. There is no trust. There's no a death, you know, transfer of death. There's no will. So all the boys wanted was the land. Now here's where it gets really, really hard. My son's okay. But his other son, you know, he did everything with him on the land, you know. They live right down the street from each other now because my other son bought a house in Casa Grande. But my ex-husband had like 6 dogs. And they want to come down there and take over the land. And, you know, one of my boys wants to take one of the dogs. And then his other son wants to take Asah's mom and his dog. But then they're stuck with Division. And Division is one of the dogs that laid next to him as he was dying. And it's a really, really hard thing for boys to have to go through at this age, you know? Their father died. Their family destroyed them. They were up on the stand saying stuff like, oh, they're trying to kick me out of the house and stuff, and crying and lying under oath. When I got up to the stand, I wasn't allowed to talk. Any question that was asked me was called hearsay. Every question, I even told him, I have videos on YouTube. I have links where I show, hey, you can do it. Keep going. I start talking about Psalms. I start talking about this and talking about that and saying, you're going to survive. You're going to survive. Because when he first called me in 2020, he said, I'm calling to tell you that I'm going to die. And I don't want you to tell our son. And he was crying, and he doesn't cry ever, ever, ever. So yeah, I lost $130,000 in child support. How do I feel about that? I feel robbed. You know, I feel robbed. I feel like I should have done something before because I was in contact with him the whole entire time. He did tell me that my son would be okay and don't worry about my child support. So I obviously figured that, you know, the land was going to go straight to me. And because it was going to go straight to me because child support comes first, I was going to share with the boys 3 ways so that would help my son with this new house, that his other son would have the opportunity to buy a little land, maybe up here, you know, a little bit of land and start his life over. And he'd be able to keep his dog, all of his dad's dogs. And it's just a really, really hard situation. You know, when it first all happened, I was pretty numb. The boys were pretty numb, you know. And then the next day, it's been a different deal. And yesterday was the next day. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm up. I'm cold. I just put on a jacket. I was going to do like the Will Huffman where you go, you know, in 30 degrees and then breathe out. But I'm going to tell you the first thing I did. I was crying so hard yesterday for the boys, all 3 of my boys, because one of my other boys is having problems and my other son is having problems. So yesterday was really, really hard. And at 4:45, oh God, my back. At 4:45, I said, you know what, you're going to take care of yourself. So I called my caseworker. She didn't answer. I forgot she has Wednesday off. Left her a message. Called to make an appointment with my psychiatrist. She's booked until fucking May. Like, there's no way. I can't wait till May. Like, am I supposed to stop taking my medication? It doesn't even make sense. So I have a doctor's appointment today at 11:30. But I don't even know if, you know, she can give me my prescriptions, you know. Oh, yeah, she could do antidepressants. I think it's the one medication that she might not be able to, you know, and then I need my cholesterol pill, I need my blood pressure pill. So yeah, I'm grateful that I got that. And then when I see my caseworker, I'm going to look back to see, just before I got homeless, I started doing EMDR therapy. She wanted to do it in the tent. I'm like, oh, hell no, you know, because maybe I should have. But I think I did a good job out there for 300 plus days, you know, didn't I? But yeah, so I don't think I have anything else to talk about this. If the family is watching, I want you to know that you are going back to court. This isn't the end of it. You are going back to court because the boys weren't prepared to be the ones that had to cross-examine everybody and everything. They weren't attorneys. And also, I wasn't in there. I wasn't allowed in there. I was the very last witness. Objection, objection, objection. Anything I said. I have a video where I'm sending it to them. Objection. Videos mean nothing. I mean, it was like... Yeah, so straight up, this family's a piece of shit, you know. I would say their names so you can go, so someone, if they're nearby, can throw rocks at their house. But I'm not going to dox anybody. But you're pieces of shit, and what you did to these boys is horrible. And if you are going to allow your son's son stay at the land and not destroy the dogs and destroy his fucking life, you need to fucking tell him now. The boys need the land. It's the boys' land. And that was another thing. When I walked out the courtroom, as soon as the judge got up, I stood up and I pointed my finger at the motherfucker, their Tata. And I said, you know that's his fucking land. You know that's, you know, my ex-husband's land. I can say his name. I said, you know that's Jesse's fucking land. You're going to fucking kick him off there and you're going to kick those dogs off there? You know, the dogs that laid by him? You know, I said he's a piece of shit, but I don't know if I said that. I just know I went really fast because I was in a courtroom, you know. But to know that they were going to do that, you know, to his other son, You know, he's a good kid. He's not a bad kid. You know, boys don't do nothing. You know, the family thinks if you smoke weed, you're a drug addict, and that's not the truth. He's a hard worker. You know, he welds really good. He fixes cars. He does everything, you know. He works. My son's a good kid, you know, and we just wanted to... 10 minutes? What the fuck? Well, hopefully I just got it all out for today. And hopefully they see this video, because I heard somebody say, she's got some YouTube or something. I had to sit in the hall with these motherfuckers the whole entire time. Anytime they'd bring up something from the case, I was just about to say, hey, excuse me, can you please not talk about the case? But they'd automatically stop right when I was about to say it. So someone said, why is Gene here? And Tata said, well, that's Dylan's mother. She is here because she supports him, of course. You know, but little did they know I'd go to the stand and I'd tell the truth. But I wasn't allowed to tell the truth because Jesse's not here. So more things shall be revealed. I need to take my life in another direction. I feel really bad because my friends have been supporting me, not financially ever. They don't give me any money, but they've been supporting me with, you know, support. I mean, I'm living on their, right next to their house, you know. They're there for me anytime I need them, you know. If I need anything, you know, they let me drive their truck, you know. If I was broke down, they would come and get me. And, you know, my friend had so much hope. Oh, we're going to do this. You can do this. And I said, oh, nothing's happening yet. And this has been going on since he passed away in January of 24. Yeah, January of 24. So over a year. January 23? No, it hasn't been that long. Yeah, so I do feel a little bit cheated, only because I'm kind of having visions about, like, all the sacrifices you have to make as a parent, you know? I had someone treat me really bad with a lot of money, and he was a real family man that I stayed with just a little bit extra time, you know? Because I wasn't getting any support for two of my children. You know, call me a bitch or weird or whatever for fucking doing that, but when you're a mother, there's things that you have to do, you know? He was supposed to also pay for his medical bills. He didn't. And you know what else he did? Tata used to tell my son, tell your mom to stop sending letters here about child support. Your dad pays child support. So my son came, probably like 12 years old, you know, and said, Tata said not to do this. And I said, you know what? Your dad doesn't pay child support, and I'm not discussing it. So I just left it at that. And it's like every couple of years, my son would come back and say the same thing. He's not paying. Tata says, quit sending letters there. If you, in California, because I think it was in California, I switched it to Arizona at the last second. If you're not paying child support, anybody you know in the whole entire world is going to get messages saying, do you know where they are? They're going to get letters. Anybody in the world, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, whoever the fuck it is, they're going to get letters of, hey, do you know where he is? Hey, this and that. Hey. You know? And so that motherfucker, this thick of paperwork they brought from my marriage, because we kept filing divorce, kept filing for divorce, getting back together. And the reason why we broke up is because he was working at the shop across the street. I was working at a newspaper company across the street, and I made 3 times as much money as him, and I worked part-time. So his Tata was paying him $385 a week to work on cars over 40 hours a week. These boys deserve the land. And I really hope that they see this. I really hope that they see this. The boys deserve the land. That was Jesse's land. We all will share it. Jesse will have made his, what do you call it, responsibility of paying, you know, over $100,000, guys. It's $87,000 with 32, 31, 25 years of interest, and it goes 10% every single year on it. So it adds up to like $136,000 or something like that. So 14 minutes of bitching, but you know what? Thank you. If you got this far, please leave me a heart. Please leave me a heart, because and please give prayers to the boys. I mean, I know I'm going to be okay, you know, because I know about acceptance and having to look at, well, everything happens in, you know, for a reason. And, you know, because this is God's plan and it's not my plan. And my plan, number one, is to see the doctor and see a therapist and stuff like that, because my PTSD is so bad. I'm having flashes all the time. It's not bad flashes because I have CPTSD. It's kind of hard to explain, which I've explained it a million times, so I'm not going to. Look at the birds, guys. They say good morning. Anyways, that's about it. I lost $130,000 and a family fucked up 2 boys that fucking didn't deserve it. And if you're watching, you can fuck off. Okay, bye guys. I hope you have a really good day. Okay, bye.